Well, start a new week. And that means only one thing. More jobs to do. There's still lots and lots to do before end of May. And we're still at that point where we're continuously potting things on to make them grow as fast as we can. But we've also got things that we've had planted for quite a while. Things that we sowed way back in autumn. But now we're in mid-May, we get to that point where we can start and harvest little bits and bobs of plants. Which is only the start at rewards that we're all going to get as we go through this season. I did carrots in containers. And you can see that this has got really big now. The stems are really thickening up as well, which means we should have carrots underneath. The best thing about doing them in containers, apart from being able to keep them above 60 centimetres off the ground, which sorts out any problems with carrot root fly, is that we can just take what we need from it. We don't have to take everything, and we can just leave the rest in to grow on and get bigger. But when it comes to carrots, you never really know what you've got below the surface of that soil. The thickness of the stem is a good indication that they're basically ready. Or you can see the carrots starting to stick out at soil. But if you're not ready to pull them at that point, make sure you cover that top back up, otherwise it's going to turn green. But this one in particular, it's got a really thick stem. And it doesn't take much to tempt me to pull up a carrot and see what we got. Because that's going to give you an idea of what you might be getting later on in season. So I think today I'm going to take at least one of these carrots out and have a look at what we've got. But first I'll show you a bit closer up how this stem looks now, which makes me want to take it out. So for moving a bit closer to this container, if you look at this one in particular, it's got a really thick stem. And that tells me it's ready. I mean, you can dig around bottom of your carrots to see if you can see anything there. And obviously we've got some carrot there. So I think just based on the thickness of that stem, I'm going to take that one out, and that will give us some indication of what else we might get a bit later on in season. Let's just carefully take this carrot out. Well, I was hoping for something a bit bigger than that, but it's still not a bad size. But there's another quite thick stem one just there, so we'll have a look at that one as well. And that one's even smaller. So I think we'll just leave the rest of these to grow on a bit more. But at the same time, we're thinning them out a little bit when we do this. Well, certainly not as big as I was hoping for. So it's quite misleading that you've got such a big stem on this carrot, but not a lot going on underneath. It's still perfectly edible. So we'll just leave that container now. Because now we know if we empty the lot, we're probably only going to get smaller carrots now, since this had the biggest growth on top. But we have got lots and lots of different containers growing carrots in at the moment, all at various stages. We've got a good chance of getting a decent harvest sooner or later. So I've got this container that we've had in container garden, and we interplanted different things in here. We put all these onions in, and down that centre we had beetroot, which we harvested for leaves. But at the back we've got lots more carrots. But these carrots are too close together now, so we need to thin those out or we'll not get any carrots, or any size anyway. So we basically need to select what we're keeping and what we're not, and just keep removing every other one. And I think we might have put 2 rows of carrots in here, so we're going to have to take quite a few out, because they're way too close together to make any carrots or any size. So just keep pulling them out, working your way down that line, and eventually you're going to end up with gaps like that, just over an inch. You're not going to get massive carrots after a container anyway, but you won't get any at all if they're too close together. So that's a really good sized carrot there. but there's some in between that aren't as good, so we're taking them out. If you want to, you can just cut the tops off with scissors, but I don't like to leave the roots in ground either. I'd just rather go down it like this. We've got tiny little carrots growing in there, and that's how they'll stay if we don't do this job. It's going to take a while, but it's something that you've got to do. And again, nice little carrot, but look how straight they are. And same thing there, nice little gap, but then we've got more right at side. So just keep working your way down like this, and eventually you're going to have nicely spaced out carrots. Well, that didn't take too long, and now we've got all those carrots thinned out. So they've got a nice little gap between each, and there were 2 rows as well, so we've thinned out both. And there's spring onions in this container, and now starting to bulb up. So we'll be able to get an harvest of those soon as well. And because we want to get as much as we can from every container that we do, now we've finished harvesting these beet leaves, we can replace it with something else. And I've got a few little gem lettuce that we've been growing on in these packs, so we might as well put a row of those in between. So, a nice deep hole. And all we have to do is pop these little plants in. And we can get quite a few in here, because these little gems don't grow wide, they grow more upwards. So we'll get whatever we can in. Don't forget to plant your lettuce nice and deep. So just a couple of inches between each one is plenty. Nice little plug plants these. And we've got a few more, haven't we, as well. So we'll never run out of these all the way through season. Carrots nicely thinned. Spring onions on the way. And now we've got a new row of little gem lettuce. Another job well done today. And it were a little disappointing to only get carrots at that size. But at least now we know if we leave them, they're going to grow on and get a bit bigger. But we are going to get something, and that's all that matters. And we pulled all these out while we were thinning this container. Little baby carrots. They're not getting wasted either, because we'll scrub them, cut these tops off, and then I'll boil them all. Anyway, I'll get these watered in, these new plants, and we can look forward to 3 harvests from one small container, taking up hardly any space and using a very small amount of compost. And if you're interested in seeing what other containers we're going to be setting up over the next few weeks, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and we'll see you next time. Take care.